Hello, and welcome to Not Just Books, the library's monthly show about what's going on here at Williamson County and at the Williamson County Public Library. I'm Dolores Greenwald. I'm the Executive Director, and thank you for spending part of your day with us. We have a very special show about the Daughters of the American Revolution, or the DAR, and some of its activities that we'll be co-sponsoring with around Constitution Week. We've got Joy Graham with us, who's Old Glory historian, Anna Shaffer, who is our Old Glory regent, Cindy Bond, who is the chair of our Constitution Week committee, and also Nena Manci, who is our Old Glory citizenship chair. So sit back and relax, learn a little bit about the DAR and your county, and we'll be right back.
As an astronomer, I love the stars. As a resident of planet Earth, I dig healthy soil. Find out why you should too. Visit nrcs.usda.gov and unlock the secrets in the soil.
Welcome back. In this segment, we're going to be talking about DAR participants and some background. With us today, we have Joy Graham, our Old Glory chapter historian, and Anna Shaffer, our Old Glory regent.
Good morning, Dolores.
Thank you so much for joining us today in this beautiful area on this beautiful day. Joy, I'll start with you.
Okay.
What is DAR? Give us a little background on the DAR.
Okay. I think our regent was going to talk about that segment, so maybe we'll do it together, but I'll let Anna start off. I'm sorry, Dolores.
Okay with that, Dolores, we are a non-profit, non-political group of women united by a spirit of service to God, home, and country. We were founded in 1890 with the simple mission of promoting historic preservation, education, and patriotism.
Well, and today, this diverse group of women, that 4 women started it back in 4 women decided to use that as their mission. And the principles that they started out with are the same that we use today, that we want to have. We all have a love of home, country, and God, and we want to promote that.
Well, who are DAR members? And I'll let either one of you tackle that.
Our common bond is that we all have a relative who fought in the Revolutionary War. What a lot of people don't know is that you didn't have to actually fight. If you could have contributed in any way to the war effort, you could become a member of DAR. For example, if you fed the troops, back in the day, soldiers would come along starving, and farmers would start slaughtering their cattle and feed the troops. Those people could belong to the DAR for that effort. Their generosity. If you supplied guns and ammunition, you could become a member of DAR, or if your relative did.
That's good to know, because I'm not sure a lot of people
think
that. I think they look at it from just a military perspective, and there's more to it than that.
But they have to prove it, document it.
Yes.
So it has to be documented proof, which is sometimes a genealogical nightmare to try to prove, but we do have people that will help with that. And quite frankly, when you start researching and doing this genealogy things, it gets a little addicting. It's like being a detective.
It's really
kind of fun.
And
but
putting
it's
together a puzzle almost.
It is a puzzle. Yeah, I love doing it. I love doing it. But finding this history, it's really pretty neat to find out that your patriot gave everything to fight for this country. I mean, they left home and family and came and fought.
Wow.
And one thing I learned in DAR was that only a third of the men fought for the American Revolution. A third fought for the British, and a third didn't fight.
They didn't care.
So I mean, it was a divided country back then.
That's true.
And hard,
That's very
thinking
true.
neighbor fighting neighbor almost.
Yes, true.
Well, we could we could fill a whole week on this topic, but I would like to cover just briefly, and in a nutshell, what DAR members do, because we're quite an active chapter.
Yes, and I'm going to take that one.
Joy.
But I wrote it down because I didn't want to miss a lot of anything because we do so much. One of the things I wanted to mention was that I had a friend that once told me, "Oh, that's just a Southern organization." And I said, "Au contraire." Our headquarters are in Washington, D.C. We have chapters in, we have like, since it was those 4 women, we've had over 950,000 women in the DAR.
Yes.
There are members in every state in the United States and Washington, D.C., and 10 foreign countries. And all those women today still work with the same principles they did in 1890. So we have a lot of groups and organizations, and we have 5 chapters here in Williamson County. So we work with programs and a lot of committees. This is a volunteer organization, and I have never seen women volunteer so many hours and do so much service. So I wrote down some of the programs. One of the things we do is restore and maintain historical sites. And one of the things we did here locally was we restored the gates at the old cemetery in downtown Franklin. They put them up
100 years ago.
Wow.
And now we restored them. We preserve genealogical records, artifacts, and historical documents. We locate, restore, and mark the Revolutionary graves of our soldiers. We support schools through donations and many volunteer efforts. We're just getting ready to go into schools and read books to the children and talk about Constitution Week. We provide scholarships and awards to outstanding students throughout the country. And I was just at Continental Congress in D.C. with thousands of women from everywhere. The Hawaii delegates had leis on. You could always see them. But they gave thousands of dollars of scholarships to wonderful students. We promote education and citizenship through youth programs. We sponsor American history essay contests. We provide volunteer time to assist military veterans. We go into the hospitals. We support active military. We send them boxes and boxes of things and honor them in any way we can. We sponsor special programs promoting the Constitution, which will be talked about in a few minutes.
Yes.
And we celebrate new citizens by giving them flags at naturalization ceremonies. So anything your passion, you can do.
I've heard about the naturalization ceremonies and how just emotional and worthwhile it is, and such a special feeling to witness that. And I guess anyone, whether they're a member of DAR or not, if they want to go and witness that, they could.
They
do
would
that.
welcome people.
So, and this is kind of to both of you. Why did you become involved in DAR?
My mother told me I could. And that is really the absolute truth. I was too busy when I was young, and I regret that. I wish so much that I had joined early on, but I didn't. And to be absolutely honest with you, Dolores, I joined because I thought I need to have something nice in my obituary, and I thought it would be nice to have DAR. But then I joined. And oh my goodness, I was so impressed with all the work that DAR does, and even more impressed with the substance of the women who are involved with DAR. I've made great friendships, and I'm amazed at the abilities and all that our large and varied chapter brings to the table.
That's just gravy. That's just gravy.
It was on my bucket list because I remember in high school back many years ago, we gave a DAR award and my best friend got it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I would love to know if I have an ancestor that fought in the Revolution. So finally, again, I didn't have time then, but when I finally got time, I did the genealogical research and found out that Thomas Holland fought. He was a Minuteman with George Washington. He was at Valley Forge. And it just warmed my heart to find out that this man He worked in the hospital at Valley Forge. He drove the wagons, and I'm like, oh, it was so exciting to learn that.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today and telling our viewers about the DAR and how important it is and what all wonderful things that we are doing. Thank you again so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dolores.
Dolores.
And we'll be right back.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is possible with the support of my community. Join the Voices for Recovery. Visible, vocal, valuable.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back. In our second segment about the DAR, we're going to be talking about local events going on here in Franklin and Williamson County concerning Constitution Week. And I have Cindy Bond here with me today. She is the Constitution Week Committee Chair, and Anna's doing double duty again as our Old Glory Chapter Regent. And we're going to be talking about Constitution Week. And Cindy, tell us about Constitution Week and what's its purpose.
Well, thank you, Dolores. First of all, Constitution Week is officially September 17th through the 23rd of each year. There are actually really two main documents which are central to our United States. That would be the Declaration of Independence and then the Constitution. And while our Declaration of Independence really is what forges our national identity, the Constitution is what forms our government. And so we have a special time, September 17th through the 23rd, to commemorate this very important document. And this year, we're actually celebrating the 230th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution on September the 17th of 1787.
And how did it begin?
Oh, good question. Actually, it began back in 1955, the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution actually petitioned Congress to commemorate this special week celebration for the Constitution, and they actually passed that, and then Dwight D. Eisenhower, the president at the time, actually signed it into Public Law 915 on August the 2nd of 1956. So that's whenever it actually became law. And then George W. Bush was the individual, the president, who actually started Constitution Week and made it what it is today. But what's really interesting about this is the fact that while most Americans celebrate our Independence Day, July the 4th, very few people even know there's such a thing as Constitution Week.
I didn't know about Constitution Week until I joined the DAR. And we could have been celebrating that all through elementary school, and we did not. So I'm grateful to President Bush for requiring that all public schools celebrate Constitution Week today.
Exactly, and to Anna's point, if a school is receiving federal funds, they're required to actually to commemorate that day and to have special curriculum regarding the Constitution.
It's good.
That's excellent. That's excellent. What are some of the goals of the DAR with Constitution Week?
Well, first of all, the DAR is a foremost supporter and advocate for the Constitution, and they allow us to take and have quite a bit of freedom in regard to events and programs to celebrate the Constitution. We want to bring awareness, of course, in the community. There's probably, I would say, three main goals. The first one would be to educate individuals. So what we want to do is provide our community with education regarding the history surrounding the Constitution, and very importantly also the individuals who were part of creating the Constitution, because remember, all we had before that were the Articles of Confederation, which basically brought our 13 colonies together to fight the Revolutionary War. Then once we had a country, we had no government.
So we had to provide some kind of a framework for that, and that's exactly what the Constitution is. So we try to educate, and then the other thing we want to do is inform individuals. So we want to inform them that there is such a thing as Constitution Week. We do have this special time of commemoration. And then we want to inspire our community and individuals to protect, to preserve the Constitution as the important document that it is.
Very good. And one of the reasons that the library is partnering with the DAR on Constitution Week is because we've done it previously in the past, but we're doing it a little bit more this time around. And tell us a little bit about what Old Glory will be doing during Constitution Week.
Oh, well, thank you for asking. And first of all, we do want to thank the Williamson County Public Library and you, Dolores, your staff, for partnering with us this year. It's been a great partnership, and we've been able to do some exciting things this year and really expand on our programs, our events, because of this particular partnership. So thank you for that. One of the things that we're doing this year, which is actually the second year in a row, we're partnering with the Williamson County School System. We are having some of our members be guest readers in the elementary schools. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be reading this little book, which is We the Kids. And this book explains the fundamentals regarding the Constitution. And this particular book is from the Williamson County Public Library, and parents can actually take and check this out. So any of our homeschoolers could get the book from the library and actually read it to their kids. One of the other things that we're doing, again in partnership with our Williamson County Public Library, is a poster contest. I'm very excited about this because this is the first year, to my knowledge, that we've done that. And what we're asking is elementary age kids would take and design a poster. It would be their own original design. And more information, the entry forms can be obtained from the library. I know that you're posting information about it in your e-blast and things of that nature. So,
and on our website.
Yes, so happy about that. And then we have an annual Sunday program. And this year, what's going to be very exciting about it is we're going to have a great program of patriotic music. And we're going to have a very special guest. Last year we had President James Madison. This year we're going to have Ben Franklin, who's the most inventive of our founding fathers, and he's going to be there. The program is going to be held from 3 to 4 p.m. at the historic Franklin Presbyterian Church at 5 Points in Franklin. And so we hope that folks will come, bring their kids, because it is open to the public. And then afterwards, from 4:30 to 5:30 at the Williamson County Public Library, we're going to actually have an exhibit of the posters. We are going to award some prizes to the children involved. And then we're going to have some refreshments. And then Ben Franklin is joining us. He's going to demonstrate some of his inventions.
That's right.
With the community. So we're really, really excited about it, and we thank you.
I think it'll be a great event.
Cindy has done a lot of work organizing all of this. I'm grateful to her.
Well,
And all DAR members, just about. I mean, nationwide, we have how many? Thousands and thousands of
approximately
volunteer hours.
178,000, about 3,000 chapters throughout the United States. We even have some chapters that are international. Huge membership organization, but always the mission is to be able to take and honor the individuals who brought about this country and made it possible for us to live in a country where we're allowed to have the freedoms that we have, the privileges that all our citizens enjoy.
Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you for your hard work on this project and being with us today. And again, thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
And we'll be right back.
As veterans, we committed to protect our country. Sometimes we forget that the biggest challenge can be asking for support. Call the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. It matters.
Welcome back. In our third segment today about the DAR and Constitution Week, we have with us Nena Manci. She is the Old Glory Citizen Chair and of a very important committee that as young children that learns about the DAR. And Anna, we have her back again, and we appreciate the triple duty now that Anna's doing. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Dolores.
And we've talked about the DAR in general, Nena. Now tell us about some of the things in today's DAR.
Well, one of the committees that I'm very involved in, it's the DAR Good Citizens Program. And we cover the 5 area high schools: Franklin High School, Centennial High School, Independence High School, Fairview High School, and Battleground Academy. And each school selects a good citizen. Then the good citizen is selected from the high school, and they select their own good citizen. And it's on the foundation of dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. And then after the school gets their selection, then they go through a process of they do an application, they do an essay, they get a letters of recommendation, they do a resume, and then they are given an on-the-spot essay where they open up an envelope on a certain day and they write a 500-word essay. And then we get independent judges to judge those 5 students, and then they are always a good citizen. They are forever, for the rest of their lives, they are a good citizen from their school, and they can use that on their resume in college, for sororities, fraternities, or student government, on their resume for job application later on. But then we select one that we sponsor out of that group to go on to compete into the district, and then state, and then nationally, and then there is scholarship money on each level that they could possibly win.
So if a child wins region, then they would move on to state, then move on to national. And that's what the Old Glory chapter sponsors. One of the things would be the cost to move these kids where they need to go.
Yes.
So, and how many participants do we usually have?
Just about every high school in the country, if they are an accredited high school, there is a good citizen coming out of one of those high schools.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
Each chapter has, a different, like the 5 chapters here in Williamson County?
Yes, there are 5.
So all the high schools in the entire county, and then that keeps going where it through the state. They're all covered.
Well, what are some of the ways that Old Glory is involved in the community here in Williamson County?
We support historic preservation, education, and patriotism. I think the one that speaks to my heart the most is patriotism. I love when I can support our troops, our veterans, or our active military right now. Not too many years ago, Old Glory invited a lot of former Vietnam, well, they're not former, Vietnam veterans, and we honored them with a pin and recognized their service and a certificate. And after it was over, one of the men came up to me and said, "Thank you. Nobody has ever thanked me before." Oh. And we do that sort of thing. Yeah. And it's moving.
Yes.
And it's valuable service. DAR puts in millions. Our members offer millions of hours of service each year across the country. But in our neighborhood, we're involved with historic preservation also. there are a lot of old cemeteries in Williamson County that are in terrible disrepair. And our chapter has been active in restoring these cemeteries. And it's a long, drawn-out process. We call in experts to look at the situation and give us advice. And we go about raising money to restore cemeteries. We've got 2 in the works right now.
Excellent.
And then in education, we go into the schools. I love going into the schools. The children are so receptive. They love it when we come. And as we said, we'll be in the schools in September reading. In November, we're going to have a World War I event, and we will have a big event at the archives. Children are invited to that. We will have old automobiles there. We'll have music of the day. Yeah, it constantly active and busy. I can hardly keep up with everything. I try.
That's what I was saying. Our Old Glory chapter, as long as I'm sure as well as other chapters, DAR, are very busy. We'll move straight from Constitution Week into the World War I events. So, anything else, Nena, that you would like to add?
Well, you know, I recently had someone, a mother, ran into me and she said, my daughter wanted me to tell you that she is in college and she has been interviewed and she was a good citizen for Centennial High School, and that she used that on her resume, and she said, you know, I got into the sorority that I wanted and I went into student government, and she said she just wanted to say thank you and that she will always be using her DAR award.
Yes,
so
that's excellent.
I think that's
great
nice.
Stories, ladies. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us, and we'll be right back.
When I lost my sight, the only thing I had was reading.
Whatever your needs are, 99.9% of them can be met by the NLS program.
You can choose from large print or braille or audio.
It's a free service. It's amazing how much you can get.
For information about the Braille and Talking Book program by the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped Library of Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread.
Thank you very much for joining us today and learning about your community, your library, and the DAR. Special thanks to Joy Graham, who is our old history historian, Anna Shaffer, who is our old Glory Regent, Cindy Bond, who is our Constitution Week chair, and Nena Manci, who is our Old Glory Citizenship chair. So thank you ladies for joining us. And to find out more about the library, please go to our website, wcpltn.org, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at facebook.com/WCPLTN or twitter.com/WCPLTN. And also sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's easy. It comes through your inbox in your mail, and you'll just find out exactly what's going on. And that's ref@williamson-tn.org. And thank you for spending your day with us. And until next time, explore your world and read.
Out of the Wild by David Harris. Sound ricochets through the valley, across the river, bank to bank. From the porch you hear the wails that sound at first like sirens. The dog rises, nervous, and sniffs and stays close. He knows his cousin's call. Just beyond Manhattan's nighttime glow, coyotes haunt these hills. In the morning, You grab the train for Grand Central while wildness sleeps in your backyard.